Hey everybody, Perry here again. Just one quick update before we put this motor away until we get the heads and the intake back. These are the pistons I was telling you about. Okay, these are what they call pop-up pistons, cut for the valve relief. These are 11.5 to 1 pistons. That means compression ratio, okay? We're going to put the open chamber heads on this engine, which is going to bring that compression ratio back down to about 10 to 1 or so I don't have to go to the airport for gasoline. The inside of this block has been coated with a finish that lets the oil run back down so it doesn't stick as bad. Inside there, you can see that 292 cam is already installed. That's the one that I showed you the box for. Okay. And there's our motor painted up. Now, chrome doesn't make it go faster, but it sure looks cool. And this harmonic balancer, that came with the engine, so it is what it is. Okay, what I'm going to do while I store this engine is I've already coated this metal surface right here with oil. All these inside here, the cylinders, have already been coated with oil, so I try not to play with those or mess with those if I don't have to. Okay, we'll clean those out before the final installation of the heads. I've had a few questions. Well, how much did you pay for the motor? How much did you pay for the transmission? How much did you pay for this, that, and the other thing? The engine as you see it, minus the cam, with the pistons, the rods. I can't show you the crank because the oil pan's still on. Or already on, I'm sorry. But it's got a forged steel crank. It's only a 2-bolt main, but the mains have been studded. Which means instead of bolts going up into the block, they stud them to where the bolts come down, your caps fit on. Kind of hard to explain, but gives a little bit more strength. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a box of cheap plastic wrap. I've already coated the thing. So I'm going to wrap the whole thing in plastic wrap, and I'm going to put it in the garage to keep the dust and dirt and everything else out of it until we're ready to put the intake and everything on. As I said before, I never advise to use a used cam on any engine. Never a good idea, unless you want to do a lot of cam swaps. So, to go over it one more time, the engine was $1,000 minus the cam. The cam was $137. The transmission redone, and this is the special high power transmission, which means it's got some extra stuff to hold the horsepower of that motor, was $600. The head work and everything I'm having done to the heads was $500. So right now, the cam was $135. The lifters were $79, I think. The springs were $107. So right now, altogether in this truck, I have probably around $2,500 to $2,600. Remember, this is a budget build, so I'm doing everything I possibly can by myself. Those heads that you saw polished, I did those. Okay, it took me a long time. Yes, it was a couple hours of grinding on them and then going and have a beer or going and watch TV for a little bit. All in all, to do it yourself, you're probably looking at about 8 hours of solid work. But it's well worth it. If you want a motor that's going to run fast, a little bit of elbow grease never hurts. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up with plastic wrap. And as soon as we get the heads in the intake, we'll show you how that goes on. Can't wait to get this thing going. We'll see you next time.